Have you ever been ignored or underestimated? I know I have been. Stuff like this has, interestingly enough, always happened to most young people, especially children. Adults usually say, but that's just a theory, or it's not a feasible thought, when young people think of anything new. And it has been deeply concerning that they will say that. Of course, they may have reasons. Children, for most of the time, can be arduous to understand, or the ideas can be blatantly unbelievable. But I believe adults fail to understand that the younger the age does not necessarily mean less creativity. Now, I have been learning and researching this topic from many sources, and I'm going to share these 3 reasons I found with you right now so that you become more aware of why children should be listened to. Then, I'm going to walk you through one easy solution to wrap up this whole video, which will help both adults and children gain a reciprocal advantage. Okay, first, let's look at the adults. Older people generally think in a convergent way when it comes to problem solving or inventing new concepts. If you ask an adult to think of ways to solve poverty, they may imagine practically. Adults will intrinsically think, oh, we require a lot of money to achieve such a goal, or this will take a long time, restricting themselves from thinking beyond their own barrier of practicality. Children are the polar opposite of that. Younger people think more divergently, so they think far beyond what can be done. For example, 7-year-old Alina Morse invented Solipops, which are sugar-free lollipops that are good for teeth. The idea came from a simple question she thought of. If candy is bad for your teeth, why don't we make candy that's good for them? Adults in the candy industry had accepted sugar as normal, but Alina thought differently. This proves children can actually make good thoughts. Moving forward, young people are also considered to have a starter brain, which means they look at everything completely new and simple. If you give a child a computer, they will quickly learn how to use it and work their way up from the basics, even without any assistance. This sort of superpower ability allows the child to generate user-friendly ideas, which can improve interaction between people and technology. Next, young people should be listened to because they see the world with a present optimistic view rather than an experienced old view. They can imagine and visualize a better and more secure future. For instance, Greta Thunberg, 19-year-old from Sweden, started a school strike for climate, which millions of students joined her to demand stronger action on climate change. Melati and Isabel Winston from Indonesia, both 10 and 12 years old, founded Bye Bye Plastic in Bali, leading to a ban on single-use plastic bags. There are many more examples other than these 3 great young people, and that proves the world can have a better society and a better environment because of youths like them. Now, what I am discussing is why children should be listened to, but let's get a closer look at why children are not being listened to. Adults often view ideas through a fixed lens shaped by experience. They believe not everything is possible and sometimes assume that if they cannot imagine a good concept, then younger people cannot either. Because of this, many adults underestimate children's logic and dismiss their ideas too quickly. We need to abolish that mindset as children are naturally creative and strong problem solvers. When adults ignore children's ideas, they may not realize that they are also ignoring potential innovation before it even has the chance to grow. Now, what will happen when children are not listened to? First, they stop sharing ideas. What was normally a child ecstatic to share his new drawings now keeps the drawings in an old closet. Second, they lose confidence. Some children can be afraid to speak up as they think they have to do so like adults. Third, innovation decreases. As the young people grow older, factors such as fear of failure, social expectations, and pressure slowly reduces their ability to think differently. As the young people grow older, factors such as fear of failure, social expectations, and pressure slowly reduce their ability to think differently. The children repeatedly feel dismissed and internalize the belief that their own personal voice does not matter to anyone else. Now, although I have been talking about whether children are always supposed to be listened to, it is important to note that listening does not mean blindly agreeing. Listening means respecting ideas enough to even think about them and consider them seriously. I have discussed what, when, and why adults do not listen to children, but we may move on to what problems adults and children usually face. For adults, when they think, they struggle to imagine beyond practicality. As I have said before, because adults have more experience in life, they often think about money, risks, time, and failure. This makes them focus heavily on what is realistic and can limit creativity. While this realism is sometimes imperative, it can also prevent them from recognizing new or revolutionary ideas. Moving to children, young people often face the problem of credibility. because of their young age, many people assume that their ideas are naive and unrealistic. As a result, children's voices are often ignored before they are probably heard. Now, both individuals face problems, but what may be a fix for them? A simple Start Monday plan can help fix the difficulties and the problems for both sides. Something as small as a 5-minute listening loop could help. When children expresses a thought or an idea, adults give them at least 5 minutes of listening without any interruption. For the adults, they promise to listen fully without doubting, and the children promise to explain and provide proper feedback. This can facilitate better communication, understanding, and confidence between adults and children. The adults may gain new perspectives or creative ideas they might not have considered, and the children can gain expression and confidence through having the freedom to talk. Both sides gain mutual respect, better discussion, and a habit of thoughtful listening. When young people know their ideas will be heard and acknowledged, they are more than willing to think creatively and share solutions to problems. Some of their ideas may grow into innovations that improve society in the future. The children can grow up to become leaders, thinkers, and problem solvers. A life where experience and imagination work together rather than against each other may be created. Over time, these qualities can help shape a generation capable of adapting, improving, and developing ways to solve difficulties effectively.